So, guys, what's going on? It's Friday night and it's September. And even though it's September, I guess, thinking Halloween. I'm in the stores, I see all the Halloween stuff coming out. And I love that the weather is getting cooler. Oh, it started, September's weird. And you get like the first 2 weeks, it gets like cooler, then it gets hot again. Anyway, I like that it's getting cooler and we're getting into October and Halloween. I'm getting ready for Halloween and I'm looking at my house and I really wouldn't decorate my house this early. It's only the first week of September and depending on where you live in New York, school is starting. If you're down south, school already started, and even on the West Coast, school starts like in August. But one of the things you do see is all the Halloween decorations being put out. I actually started to see them in August when I was in CVS. Five Below started to put them out. Dollar Tree, and then all these other different stores. Costco had some Halloween stuff out. So did Walmart. And this picture you're seeing, this was a card, and I liked it. I liked that it said, reaching out to keep in touch, which I hope I'm doing. I feel like I'm doing. I'm hoping that you're listening. But I want to talk about Halloween, getting ready for Halloween. Now, I have a bunch of old Halloween decorations. It seems that no matter how many Halloween decorations I have, I will, buy something new every year because of all the decorations that I, just collected over the years. I truly, I guess, don't need any more. How many pumpkins do I need, or plastic type pumpkins and things like that. One of the things I do need is the lights. I'll put like maybe a string of orange lights out, like Christmas light type lights, I guess. Little thin, smaller lights, and I will have they're orange. I'll do like an orange on the fence, and maybe I'll put a pumpkin. I do put a pumpkin on the porch. I used to be somebody that always liked to carve pumpkins, and then as I got older, it's like sometimes I do carve the pumpkin, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I realize, I do buy a pumpkin and put it on the porch, and then like maybe a couple of days before Halloween, I would take the pumpkin in to carve it. And I'm one of those people that would carve the pumpkin and then put like a candle in the pumpkin. And usually the candle, the next day, if I open the pumpkin up to put, either a new candle in or something, the candle from the night before is still there. So it must have been lit. I don't know how long it stayed lit for, but, I guess the wind got it. But I enjoy decorating the house. I enjoy giving candy out if I'm, in the house. The kids will trick or treat where I live, and they seem like they're having a good time. When I was a kid, I enjoyed trick or treating. I'm going to say it was one of the only things as a kid that I enjoyed growing up, or I grew up in New York City. I'm from one of the five boroughs. Uh, with everything in my childhood, I could say that at least trick or treating was good, right? I look forward to and I stopped trick or treating young. I was somebody, just the way things were going. I could have. I mean, kids now trick or treat when they're teenagers. I think I was a little kid, and just the way things were, I wasn't able to trick or treat. I guess I don't know. It was just the way the neighborhood went. But I enjoy that. Someone that's older now, and I'm doing my thing. I'm in my house. If I'm in my house and I'm not like my neighborhood, I'm lucky. The adults actually will do. Um, the adults will like hand out like adult things like shots and food and stuff, and it's almost like a block party. Uh, but if I was home, I would have candy. I would, go to Costco or like a Party City, and I would get the good candy. I wouldn't get like the cheapy, like gummy candies. I would buy the bag that had like the Snickers and the Reese's Pieces. I gave out the good candies, and when I was a kid, I used to like to get the good candies because you would go to some houses and they would give you I don't know, Swedish fish, something like that. And then you would go to the house that gave you, the Snicker bar. And then there was always that one house that used to give out the full size candy bar. So you would go to a house and there was this one person on my block when I was very young, when I was a kid. They would hand out a full size candy bar, and that was always fun. So it was things like that. The other thing I do enjoy about this time of year, as we come closer to Halloween, is I'll get into watching, I guess, scary movies. I don't know. I love the original Halloween movie, the one from like the 1970s with like Jamie Lee Curtis. I think that's right, John Carpenter. Am I saying it wrong? So the first original Halloween, which is in the 70s, fantastic movie. Halloween 2, again, that is another fantastic movie. I think that Friday the 13th it's not like because that movie's based like in a summer camp during summertime, and I never associate it with Halloween. I actually would see that movie in the beginning of the summer, but that's another good type of movie. But the first two Halloweens I always thought were fantastic, especially around Halloween. It's themed around Halloween. The name of the movie's Halloween. The movies, I guess Rob Zombie did. The Halloween movies after that, I seen like the first one. I remember in the movie theater. Whatever that first Rob Zombie Halloween movie theater was, it was all right. But the original Halloween is still my favorite. I like walking through the stores. So two holidays I like, walking through the stores and seeing decorations, Halloween and Christmas. I love walking through all the stores. I love walking through Costco. I love walking through CVS. Sometimes I'm one of those people that are sometimes I'm like out all different hours of the night, and sometimes if I go to CVS, I will go through they have like an aisle. It's usually the CVS is right kind of when you walk in, they'll have like the new Halloween stuff. They'll have like the animatronic things, where you kind of press the button, or you'll press like the hand of one of these things, and they either dance back and forth or they sing. On my YouTube channel, I'll film that. I like to put those up on my shorts. So if you ever go to my shorts, you'll see that I have like Halloween stuff. And they're usually from either like a CVS or a Walmart or a drugstore or something like that. And I love that type of stuff. I don't buy it, but I like it. It's fun. I would have 1,000 of those things. I'm not going to buy every one of them. I like to go to Spirit Halloween. I guess in the last couple of years, Spirit Halloween has become a great place. And when I go to Spirit Halloween, they have, it's almost like walking to like a Halloween town. I guess, I don't know. It's just a nice, it's fun for me. And they'll have some interesting like kind of masks there. And what I mean by that is I found like, what the hell did I buy? Was it a Bowser mask? I bought some sort of like Nintendo type of mask. It might have been Bowser or who's the Yoshi, like a Yoshi mask. So I'm interested and whatever they were. It was like $5. But I love stuff like that. I have a good time just walking through the store, just looking, not real. And then Spirit Halloween has those very big animatronics, huge, right? So they have these real big, they're bigger than 10 feet tall, where they move, they make sounds, and I find that stuff incredible. I love it. And Home Depot actually has Home Depot, and I guess Lowe's also has that really big, those Halloween animatronics, and I think that those are cool. And there was a guy in my neighborhood that had a yard full of them, and I have a video of that. If you go through my videos, where I think he buys all of them every year. I don't know, but yard is full of those animatronics, and he puts them out, and they're all running at the same time, and it sounds crazy. I did a deal. I did a house. I sold a house, and the house that I was selling, inside this house, this person left one of those giant dragons. It was like an inflatable, one of those things that blows up, like an inflatable type of dragon. And it's one of those older decorations. It's that material that looks like it's made out of like a parachute. And when you plug it in, it blows up. and I think the wings on this dragon go back and forth. I had that. I plugged it in 1 year only, and I plugged it in the day of Halloween. When I got the thing, I had it a couple of days. I had it. I didn't know if it worked or not, and it was like the second week of October, and I plugged it in, and it was huge. It had to be at least 2 stories tall. I went up to my second story on the house. It was just big, and I can't keep this up. I wasn't. It was just for me. It was just attracting too much attention. I didn't like it that big. I liked it, and then what I wound up doing is the day of Halloween is when I put this decoration up, and I left it up all night, and then basically the next day I took it down, and then I don't think I put it up. This was like maybe 3 years ago. I never put it up after that. I think this year I will do that. Now I'm not going to be in New York this year. I came down south, and I'm in a certain part of the South for Halloween. See, when you live in New York City, Halloween is every day. It's all day and it's all night. I don't know how else to put it. You got to kind of go into my older videos, and you can see where I used to film when I was in like the Bronx and Brooklyn. I would film in the city for when I was running around, and that's Halloween 24 hours a day. The problem is I can't handle Halloween anymore 24 hours a day. I have to leave. And now where I am, the people are much nicer. I'm going to say they're different. It's different people. They're nicer. And from what I'm understanding from the people I've met down here is that they do a nice Halloween. They do some sort of like get together. They do something like in a park I don't know if it's like a block party like we would do in the city, but it's something like that. They all get together, and I guess they have something equivalent to a block party where I am now, and I will check that out. When I was back up north, and I'm still back up north, I still got my stuff up there, I still go there. I like up north, even though I complain about it, I like it, but I left it. But I love to go to Sleepy Hollow. I lived 15 minutes. I mean, where I lived in a part of Westchester. I wasn't too far from Sleepy Hollow, and Sleepy Hollow was a great town, Tarrytown, and I used to go there. I worked over there at one point when I was younger, and you have the Headless Horseman and Ichabod Crane. They go off the book. And that was an amazing town in Tarrytown, and they always used to do a lot of Halloween stuff. That had I never thought, I thought that they should have, I don't want to say like they should have did it more, upped it more. Now they're starting to do it. A lot of Halloween type of events. They should have really played off of Sleepy Hollow, and now they're doing it. When I lived up there, they did a thing called the Jack-o'-lantern Blaze. They did, there's the Old Dutch Church, which is a real Dutch church from, I don't know, 1700s to 1800s. There's a lot of things up there, Civil War stuff. And I love Sleepy Hollow. And they always, once Halloween did come, they would revolve a lot of things around, the legend of Sleepy Hollow and the Headless Horseman. And the town, the village itself would get decorated. And it was fantastic. I have a couple of shirts from Sleepy Hollow. I used to buy T-shirts. I'm a T-shirt. I would buy a Legend of Sleepy Hollow T-shirt. I got one. It was beautiful. And then I also used to go to Salem, Massachusetts. So I don't know. I guess Salem was like 3 hours away. I want to say 3 to 4 hours away, something like that. I used to go to Salem, Massachusetts every year. I used to go on Columbus Day, that weekend. And then I actually went on Halloween, like the day of Halloween. Fantastic. They do a big parade. Salem did it right. They used to do a parade. They used to lock up the whole town or city of Salem, whatever you want to call it. They would do a parade. They would do fireworks. They would have like bands there. I mean, it was crazy. It was trick-or-treating all day and all night long. There was just people. It was just the whole town, the whole city was just in a party. There was all sorts of stuff. There was the Hawthorne Hotel that used to have a big banquet type of ball that way. I never went to that. I walked into it and saw it, and it was basically like a costume party, I guess, for older people. It was what you would see in a movie. The movie, what the hell is the name of that movie? It's with Bette Midler and Hocus Pocus. So the movie Hocus Pocus was filmed in Salem, and they would do a lot of stuff that, not only was it things that had to do with like Salem witch trials, and they were doing things that were based on the movie. And I always said two places, if you like Halloween, and I love Halloween, two places you would want to visit would be Salem, Massachusetts, number one, during the month of October. And even now, because it's so busy, you could get there probably, 2 weeks the last 2 weeks in September you get there. And I was actually in Salem in the summer, but they'll have stuff going on in September with Halloween. They do everything. Trolleys, reenactments, ghost walks. The whole town is decorated. Haunted houses. Everything is a haunted house. I just a lot of stuff. Salem's a place you want to visit if you like Halloween. And Sleepy Hollow. And you actually could do both. And if you took a week, you actually could go to Salem for 2 or 3 days and then shoot down to Sleepy Hollow, which, like I said, it's like a 3-hour car ride or train or whatever. But I do the car, and you could do Sleepy Hollow, and it's fantastic. Two places that you should see at least once. And, that is it. I mean, I have a lot more to say about Halloween, except I enjoy it. It was on my mind today as I was walking through. Where was I? I was in the Dollar Tree Dollar Tree, which is not a dollar anymore. I was at Five Below today. I think I was at CVS yesterday, and everything was kind of decked out for Halloween. And I said, out of all the things I could talk about, Halloween will be one of my favorites. Now, this thing you see, this animation you see. This was actually a greeting card that I took a picture of, and then I ran it through like an AI, I guess, to have it move around. I find that some of these, I like these greeting cards. I can't see who I would send a Halloween greeting card to. I guess if I had, grandkids, something like that, I would definitely send them, like a happy. I like sending cards just with my business. I send cards, Christmas cards, things like that. But I guess if I had, in the future, if I had like grandkids, I'd probably send them a card every month: a Christmas card, a Thanksgiving card, the Halloween card, the whole bit. So I always see that. But that's what this is. And it looks pretty cool, so I hope you enjoy that. I mean, it's perfect, right? It's a pumpkin reaching out to keep in touch. I'm talking. I hope that you guys are listening. Leave some comments below if you have something about Halloween that you liked, where you grew up, or, I don't know, a story. I don't know. You can leave a comment. I love to read your comments. I'm going to probably see what movies I can watch now. There's a couple. I'm on Tubi right now. I go through Tubi and Netflix, and I see what movies are on Tubi and Netflix. Maybe I'll try I think the original Halloween from the 70s is on. I don't think it's on Netflix. I think it might be on Tubi. Anyway, I'm going to see. Maybe I'll watch that. And that's really it. So I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you listened, and I hope that you're doing well, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone's staying safe. God bless you guys, and I will talk to you guys later.